Hello, Sanbonani, Genani Nonke. The first official video of 2024. Nyanbingelela, welcome back, guys. It feels good. It feels good to be back. I hope you guys. It's your boy Walter once again. About to shoot the first video of the year. Pre I think Dstvpremiership Premiership has been back for a minute. Mina F-Con fever. I had a problem with my laptop, warawara, all this spill. But I'm just glad to be able to start shooting. Shoot if it's cool, Miss Bet, it's Plambe, Senzo Kinte corner. Look, it's a derby weekend, so it's a derby is back. I'm glad that to be back. It's such a big spectacle. A lot of things to talk about though, in regards to what to expect. Yeah, it's abantu abaningi they can argue ukuthi yayehle ilona the spark. Yes, so it's a derby, but it's still alive and kicking. Sell tickets at 9,000, meaning it's sold like 80,000. So it's going to be a packed crowd. Yeah, so welcome again, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video if you like the content. It's Wheel of 50 Disky Chats is back. So where to start? I want to start with what's been happening throughout the whole week from last week, obviously looking at the previous matches and what it means for the upcoming matches at the same time. Yeah. Look, for me, I want to start with the Sundowns game, because obviously we're going to talk the Dstvpremiership Premiership. There was drama. They were supposed to play, I think it was yesterday, Tuesday or Wednesday. They were supposed to play against the TX Galaxy cell phone derby. Some call it the cell phone derby. Sundowns was supposed to play TX Galaxy, actually got an accident. That's why the match is postponed. To add context, if some of you guys don't know why the Sundowns game was postponed against the TX Galaxy. So they still have 2 games in hand. Looks like a 7th title in a row for me. I think they've wrapped it up already before. They haven't even lost the game, which is the big thing. So that game is being postponed because the coaches, for me, have been trying to make that game a bit more interesting, or that fixture a bit interesting because of coaching levels. Others accusing of phone calls, swearing. The other one is telling us that it's because they have all the money, they can buy whoever. They've improved their team with limited resources. So I think it's about, because remember, both these coaches, they were vying for a license not so long ago. But we won't dwell too much on those kind of politics. But that fixture has been postponed, so we're not going to see it happen anytime soon. We'll see when is going to be word about the, when it's going to play, because it still needs to play. And they only did that is because, again, TX Galaxy was involved in a car accident in a bus, the whole team, but no one was injured. But the car they collided with, the person passed away. So traumatic. There was politics about consistency because Madisha, when I think 2, 3, 4 years back, when Sundowns actually wanted their game postponed, and the PSL didn't want to postpone that game. It was kind of one of those things. We can equate it to the fact that maybe the whole team was involved. Madisha was one player, and I wouldn't really want to dwell too much on those outside politics, but there was a lot of drama amongst that fixture. By the way, pre or before that fixture was going to play, and even during the time where we didn't know if it was going to be postponed or not. So that's one fixture that didn't happen, so we can't talk about it. We'll talk about the next fixture that's going to happen on Saturday. Now, looking back at the matches, very quite interesting building up to the Soweto Derby. I'm saying that it's because when you look at the table, it's not as clear as such in regards to, we can start with the Pirates, before the stepchild with the Kaizer Chiefs. But the Pirates at the moment haven't been playing well. Results, let me not say performance not matching the results. When it comes to the last 5 games, hot and cold, they for me rotating the balls in the wrong areas. They're not getting the results they need. The coach is doing too much rotation because the mid Makhaula, I think, he's been giving akasahambi team no Ndlondlo. They've opted for Makaula no Numbat in the midfield. Maela is back. They're going with a back three. Shandu Nomonyane interchanging at times. Mufokeng has been given more minutes. In the last couple of games, this one fixture, he didn't even come on as a sub. Masanganye is back as well. So there is consistency, I would say 60% of the time, but Chapin changing a lot because maybe Salingna has been iced out, Siazu Tulocho Hambile. So there's a lot of confusion for me within the technical team that suggests that this is why they haven't been playing good because seemingly they don't have a good combination of players that can play against teams that are playing a mid or a low block. Because most of the time they just happen to have all the possession in the world, but they're still susceptible to conceding or taking too long to actually punish or kill the game. So a Pirates has a that's where they make blunders and available now. They've been broke by smaller in the team at the back a lot of times. If they had to play against better quality opposition, they would have been punished, lose those games if any. I mean, I can't remember a time where they look solid. Even against the recent one, Cape Town Space, they really look like they control most of the matches. But and you control the ball most of the time with just passing skills, all these things. But you can't have um, box entries or create enough chances for you to score. At the end of the day, we can all the antics, the tactics in the world doesn't matter. The bottom line is you have to get the ball behind the net. So for me, that's the missing factor for Pirates at the moment. I like them. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan, but I like Pirates. I like the players that they have, the quality they have. About Kim Woody. But I think also the mistake that they've been making is the fact that they've been too defensive, playing with two in the double pivot, they call it, team non at times. So they lack creativity because they have to rely on a 10, which is usually Masangai. Abu Kim would only come later on, then they use the width. So they congest the mid too much that they have two defensive players who would play sideways most of the time. And they don't really look for splitting passes or they don't do enough because most of their position this time, if they have don't have enough quality, they usually sit back. And this is where the Pirates is struggling. They've been giving Umahu by chance. Sometimes they play with too much, trying to play too many crosses, not enough combinations. So when you look at that form, they haven't been getting maximum results. I mean, out of a possible, I could be lying, ne? I could be wrong. But they've managed to get, I think, 7 points in the last five games, which is bad going to the Soweto time. So their neighbors, the Chiefs, says actually better form. Now, for me, that's what I would say about the Pirates. Let's move to Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs, I think they are a bit worse in terms of performance than Pirates. But in terms of results, it's a bit better in the league in regards to not conceding. But in terms of goals, they're lacking. In terms of a capable striker, they're lacking. For me, that squad is very, very bad. I would single out a few people. Kaiser, Bruce will give it to him because my clean sheet at 8, I believe. Simang, that's it for me. Those are the two guys who have really, really tried to put their hand up. Mid's been poor, striking's been poor. Whoever is there, Saile, Shabalala, Dupree, Modi, Matt, Castillo, Mtetwa, Ngobo, Mobani Banoguchi, Castillo, Nobani. No, Martis, Castillo, Marti. That combination, it's been really below par. Keegan Tole as well, because he's coming from being injured. So for me, guys, if we're to be honest, there's a point separating Paris and Kaizer Chiefs. There's a 2 point gap, which is now Esteli's having a game in hand, which is on 31 points. So this derby is just about second place for me. It's about three maximum points, second place. I think we're just going there to have banter and have fun and talk about the game and we want to see skill, just have fun, drink beers, talk about football. But to be honest, there's not really much honors we can talk in regards to this game can change the whole league. Mina, I think it will be the league will start to make sense in April because March you have a FIFA break where we start to rack up points where we understand is captaincy to Super Sport going to be number 2, 3. Are these Soweto clubs going to challenge for a cap spot because obviously Sundowns is running away with the league. So this Soweto derby, I wouldn't say it's dumped down a bit, but I wouldn't put your money on the fact that it's going to be the biggest derby or historic. I think yeah, the players know themselves. But let's talk about the young players that we can be able to expect to make a difference, which is Fukeng, no Wanile Dube. Duba, sorry. Now, in the previous games, both these players won the game. Sorry. Relubu really scored a goal that could have won the game for them because they considered against Cape Town Spurs last minute. Wanted to, on the other hand, but he broke the camel's back, we can say, because Kaizer Chiefs hadn't won a game in 2024 until he scored. And they both scored beautiful goals, which also set a precedence that, look, Lokuzan, TDC has been doing a good job because these young talents, 19 and 18, so good outing. I think they're 19, both of them, to see young players stepping up because the senior players can't seem to do what the fans want. So for me, if they do get a chance, because we know probably gonna get less minutes than usual because the derby is so big. But for me, I would, if I were the coaches, I would give these kids. Mfukeng has a better chance than Wandile, to be honest. That start was also surprised because even the lineups that you saw against Cape Town Spurs, which is from Kaizer Chiefs, was against Arrows. There was a hybrid a bit. It could have been a risk because they could potentially would have liked to go for a draw, knowing very well that they would need key players, so-called key players on my side, to be rested a bit for the derby. On Pirates as well, you could find that the lineup that you saw against Captain Space could be different in the Soweto derby because they plan to save players who are maybe potentially would get a suspension, a yellow card, injuries, and all these things, so they can be ready for the derby. So it is a big spectacle because of the coverage and the bragging rights and the fans and everything else. So I think that's what we can look out for. For me, the football I'm concerned a bit because whenever these two guys play, usually it's not a high scoring game. 1-1, 1-0, 0-0. So it hasn't been really living up to expectation. So it's going to be fine margins. I'm a bit concerned if you were to ask me about Kaizer Chiefs. They could at the back, but um, Pirates do play better. They do have quality players. I believe if they exploit, if they've been watching Chiefs very well, they could find weaknesses and they could break them down very easily. And they, for me, come in as favorites. But as form would suggest, Chiefs comes as favorites because they haven't lost a game so far in the last 5 games, and they have won, I think, 3 out of 5 and draw 2. So it's just that what's been lacking is they do get chances. And I've been saying this even in Twitter spaces, which it Chiefs, yeah, creates some chances. The strikers who happen to really, really, really waste. They're wasteful about to pre the wasteful people I've ever seen. Waste Antonio Leo. They run too much, they are just runners. Ranga, man, I guess it's also we can say supply. I'm going back and forth in between because it is look I'm covering both teams at the same time. So that's what we can look out for, man. That for me is going to be deciding factor. What can Kaizer Chiefs do better? I don't know because they've tested out almost all those guys. Bonila Mtansan, Keegan Todd has been tested out. Ngobo has started. Nkosi Pile for that fact. Sales Gututova Ageko, Udikloko Ageko. So who's going to pair with Msibang is going to be interesting. I think it's about Ngobo Foods because seemingly they cover each other very well. And on that note, if I were to talk about the defensive pair, what I like about it is the fact that Ngobo Msimang is a sweeper. So Ngobo will most of the time that either picks up a strike or two and marks if they're to have a 3v2, whatever the case may be. And Msimang covers very well. And they both athletic and they're very quick. Ngobo is a bit slower and makes a lot of mistakes. So Msimang is there to just marshal it. So that kind of understanding and synergy doesn't. It rarely happens for people who have started playing together in a short space of time, especially with the chopping and changing of that defense. So I'm really impressed in that game. Your arrows. That's something I picked up. Uti. Those two really understand each other. So apart from that, it's going to test them a bit because remember that fixture is A grade in a sense in regards to nerves, coverage, the preparation behind it, the kind of expectations that it kind of draws into. So the players they kind of make too many mistakes at times. So it needs someone who really has a big heart and a calm kind of sense of being able to play that game and not being taken by the noises, the fans and the media and everything else. So you have to come there sharp and ready and play your game. So hence why I'm saying that I really don't have a way of seeing how Kaizer Chiefs can break down Pirates. Though they've played as a better side in previous years under Mangete, whether so they've really applied themselves when it comes to the derby. And maybe you'll go with the tried and tested, which is the experienced. Kigan Tolinangati is picking up his in terms of his fitness as he gets minutes, but it's all to do. So I think, like they say, you can never prepare for it. Derby form means nothing. You could be the worst team and going to the derby, you can win it all. So it's just that it's sad that it doesn't really change much of these two teams. But the points there, even if they share the points, it's also equally important to look at the other fixtures. So if it were to me, I would cover all the fixtures then in regards to watching out Stellenbosch Noban, Supersport Noban, City Noban in that game. So that fixture maybe affects those guys at the top, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because currently they occupy 5 and 6. So 2 is Stellenbosch, Cape Town City, that all of them are on the same number of points. So that's the only talking point. And be careful, Kukune is 3 points behind Kaizer Chiefs and Pirates. So do you understand that that the game itself, for me, just on my side, it doesn't really trigger much. And apart from emotions of enjoying the fixture, which is a historic fixture, is the biggest fixture on the calendar of Dstv Premiership. I think that's the only part. To leave it off, I wouldn't talk much. Sundowns, it's quite obvious. It's playing against Chippa this weekend. Obviously, just to mention a few players from there who have been raising their hands. Zung has been coming well. I'd like to see Mbule a bit more. Lodge is a new one that's starting to get a few minutes, so he's coming out as a substitute. I don't know what's happening with Miami because Abu Isquivi, Abu Ayen, these two signings, the Brazilians, those number 10 now, Serino is actually now starting to gain favor and starting lineup. So that game, I think, I don't know if they're going to rest players because this would be the last game before they're going to go to FIFA break. And after FIFA break, they have to, I think they still need to play the the Champions League, but they still need to do the draw first. So this is the last game before the FIFA break, guys. So it's important for them. It's a nice outing. I don't think they're going to lose that game. For me, it's going to be another win for them. Not much to talk about there. They come as a favorite. They're very, very, very strong. Chippa is struggling. Is looking for points there. I see them playing a low block and trying to survive and get a point from them. I don't see them going pound for pound against Sundowns. Sundowns is improving game by game. They look better. Abo Ribeiro, they look very, very focused. It doesn't look like they're shaking at any point. They've got so many injuries, but these people are not stopping. So to me, it's not that I don't want to talk much about it, but it's becoming obvious and predictable. Monkulmang and Santana will say the same thing over and over because across the board, seemingly no one is at fault. Shaluli has been scoring, but he looks solid at most. We are mixed at most of the time, but they still are playing the same fluid football they've been playing for a long time, which is beautiful to see for our football. So that's all I have for you for this week. This is my first video, guys. I hope I did good. Please tune in every week. We're going to be talking about these three teams. It's Dstvpremiership. It's about anything that has to be relating to what is nice about our local football. We are the Dstvpremiership Premiership is representing Africa. We are the third best league. It's like we were number one in Africa, but we're the third best. Yeah, in terms of a nation. So that tells you that we are not plumbing here. We're actually talking about football. Let me see you guys next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is your boy Walter signing out. Shop shop.